people do think hobby means not serious. But for you,
It's not.
no?
I take it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think this is in my DNA. I have been taking everything serious ever since I was a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I think, you know when you use the word serious,
Yeah.
you project such a carefree,
Mhm.
and you are. There's certain things about you that's very carefree
Yeah.
and relaxed.
Uh-huh.
And
I take everything seriously, but I do not take myself seriously at all.
Paul, I really look forward to interviewing you because, as like for myself, we talked about it. What was that? The unity of. All right, I have Paul Yan here. Paul.
Yeah.
What are we again? We're the unity of.
The unity of the opposites, photography and music and photography.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on to my show. It's almost done now.
The unity of the opposites.
Yes.
Yeah, like we have this very different and opposite condition for about us. Like you are a professional photographer. Photography is your work,
Yeah.
but you love music so much.
Yes.
It's your passion.
Yes.
And me is like I'm a music producer,
Yes.
and making music is my work. And of course, I'm all passionate about it. I
can see
love it.
I can see it.
But at the same time, I have photography as my hobby, which I take very seriously. Yeah. So it's the same situation for us.
Just
Yeah, just kind of like the two sides of a coin. Yeah.
now, when you said the word hobby,
Yeah.
people do think hobby means not serious.
Mhm.
But for you,
It's not.
no?
I take it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think this is in my DNA. I have been taking everything serious ever since I was a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I think, you know when you use the word serious,
Yeah.
you project such a carefree,
Mhm.
and you are. There's certain things about you that's very carefree
Yeah.
and relaxed.
Uh-huh.
And we got along very quickly, did we not?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the unity.
Well, I tell you what, I take everything seriously, but I do not take myself seriously at all.
But I do understand, because even when you look at rock musicians, you might think like Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dancing, having fun.
Yeah.
But he keeps. I think the first thing I noticed was how healthy you ate.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger jogs.
Yeah.
Constantly. You
Yeah.
don't do that for 50 years and do whatever you feel like. You want longevity.
Yeah.
So that part of, I understand, as a musician, you must be disciplined.
Yeah.
As a producer, you must be. You might have fun and
Yeah.
and friends, but when it's time to work,
Yeah. You gotta have discipline. Rock and roll.
yes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your photography,
Yeah.
explain. So your talk, is beauty and storytelling in everyday life. You want
Yes.
to encapsulate that a little bit? What does that mean to you?
Okay, since we are at this street photography event,
Yes.
I want what I wanted to share was that you don't really have to go shoot landscape or beautiful architecture. You can just go on the street or go in the street into the crowd and extract beauty from the scenes. And how you extract beauty is actually based on your vision, your aesthetics, and your timing of pressing the shutter release. Yeah.
So when you said timing, I smirked because as musicians,
Yeah.
it's all about timing.
Oh yeah.
And photography, it is about timing.
Yeah.
But maybe do you see timing even in a rhythmic way, even in your photography?
Yes.
Is there a rhythm?
Yeah,
to your
there is a
timing?
rhythm.
Yeah.
And when you get into the groove
Into the groove.
of the street.
So you don't
There-
use the word zone. You talk
No,
about being in the
no, no.
groove.
Yeah, well, getting into the groove
Yeah.
is like getting into the zone for photographers.
Oh,
Yeah, and but for me, I normally don't see it as getting into the zone, but just the groove, because when you are in the groove,
Yes.
you are fully aware of everything that is happening around you, and you know what note to play.
Oh.
That note is this.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
And when you say that, of course, because as a musician, you have collaborators. You have
Yes.
a drummer, you have a guitarist, and
Yeah.
you are a bassist.
Yeah, I'm a
You-
bassist
you look-
myself.
You look very serious. In a way, I was surprised because
Yeah.
as you're holding bass, again, I
Yeah.
saw the focus and the seriousness. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's not the Paul I know. You must be very intense on stage.
I was rocking out.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so you talk about knowing what's happening around you.
Yeah.
So as a musician, obviously you're bouncing off of the energy of everyone.
Yes.
And so when you're shooting, is that how you feel when you when you're
Oh
shooting?
yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally. It is like the people in the streets or everything, the architecture, the artificial structures, even the cars passing by, they are just like the musicians you work with, and you collaborate with all the fleeting conditions
Yes.
that is happening or passing by,
Yes.
and once you are fully aware of your own state of mind and everything that is around you,
Yeah, yeah.
it is just like making music.
That's pretty. Okay, and then let's add one more layer. So you're talking about being in the band. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But in a way, because as a photographer, if they're not aware of what's happening,
Yeah.
in a way, there's a certain amount of control you can do in photography with
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
So in a way, can you say that even as a producer, you're almost acting also like a producer
Yeah.
with your photography? Can you
Yes.
maybe elaborate on that, or how, as a producer, how does that transfer over into your photography?
Okay. Of course, being in the street is quite different from working in the studio.
Yes.
Working in the studio, you can have a strategy, you can have tactics, you can have all the control that you want. But in the street, you have to be open-minded, and you have to let the how do you call it, contingencies to be
Flexible.
you have to be flexible and use the contingencies to your advantage. Yeah. So it's got nothing to do with control. Really, the issue or the matter is not control, but it is just letting go. It is letting go. But when we are working in the studio, what do we let go? We let go of the things that do not help the song, that do not help the music. And when I'm mixing a song, I do not want to ruin the song by doing some special effect just because I like it, or just because, hey, it's my sound, it is my style. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be fully incorporated with the music, and also with street photography. You want to be totally blended in.
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't have to be afraid that you're gonna lose yourself or lose your vision or lose your style, because you are always yourself. Every picture tells who we are, even if we are not in the frame.
So is that where the storytelling comes in. So beauty and storytelling in everyday life. The storytelling part is
Yeah.
because it's through your eyes.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
through just like songwriting. You are telling stories through your own phrasing of musical notes. And when you tell stories through photography, you are actually using pixels
Yes.
as your pixels or the film
grain,
grains, yeah, as a platform for telling stories. And a story is maybe different for you, and it is a different thing for me. Maybe it is the same story, the same happening, but we just in how do you call it?
Perspective.
Yeah, we have a different perspective, so we tell different stories of the same thing, or of the same person,
Yeah.
or of the same happening, because reality is actually just a relative thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. We can tell different stories about the same thing or about the same person through our, be it a standalone camera or, for me, a cell phone.
That's actually was my next question. Is that so? Why do you? Your pictures are fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I love them, and
Thank you.
and I'm not surprised that a musician who is creative can also take pictures well. It's just another creative medium, right?
Yeah.
Mostly creative people are creative in many aspects in life.
Yes.
But you've chosen photography. But your tool of choice. So you are a bassist. Obviously, I'm sure you play more than bass, but that is the tool you decided to
Yeah.
express yourself musically. And so why did you choose a smartphone?
Actually, it was not a purposeful thing that I like I chose to use it to do photography. It just happened naturally. Okay, I'll tell the my story
Yeah.
real quick. Okay, originally I had a 3GS, iPhone 3GS,
Yeah.
which got a the,
Yeah.
the screen was not very big, and
Yeah.
and about 5 years ago, I started to feel that my presbyopia. You mean when you get old, you cannot look at things to read well. When the text is not very big. Okay, and when the iPhone 6 Plus came out, I thought, oh, big screen, good. I'm gonna upgrade to the iPhone 6 Plus, and
You went from a 3GS to a 6 Plus.
yeah.
There was still the 4, the 4S, the 5.
Yeah.
You held it that long?
Yeah, it was not because I was practical. It was because, well, I had my digital point and shooter,
Oh,
and
I
I
see.
and I also
So it's
had,
just a phone to you.
it was just a phone for me,
That's it.
and all I did with it was to document, like in the studio when I took pictures of the machines or the positions of the knobs or the positions of the microphones, just in case
Yeah.
somebody mess it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I found out, I got the 6 Plus in 2015 and found out that the camera quality was not too bad and started to shoot
Yeah.
a lot with the 6 Plus.
Yeah.
And that's how it went from there.
And so when it comes to your photography, what is your approach, and does it come across the same from music? Is it the same, different?
I think it is pretty much the same thing.
Oh, wow.
You know, as a musician or as a music maker,
Yeah.
every sound or every note you play,
Yeah.
every sound you make, it just reflects what kind of a person you are. And for a music producer, the final result of a production
Yeah.
reflects who you are and what you are and who you are. And as a bass player or as a drummer or even a singer, any nuance of sounds just reflects who we are. And also, it's the same thing with photography. every picture, how we compose and how we post process the photos, it just reflects how we are.
Says a lot about who you are.
Yeah, totally.
But is there any other photographers that you admire that perhaps you studied that
Of
affects your
course,
photography?
of course.
So can
Well,
you name me some.
well, let's say the godfather of street photography, Henri Cartier-Bresson.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, your
everybody.
French is good.
I can speak a little French.
So what have you learned from Bresson?
Well, we all know his famous saying of le moment décisif, the decisive moment.
Yeah.
And well, everybody has different decisive moments, but it's what kind of person you are that depicts, that decides what a decisive moment is really beautiful or impactful
Yeah.
to other people.
Yeah.
Well, let's say this. We learn to be a better person. We learn to be interesting person because we want to be better music makers. We want to be better photographers.
Yeah.
And the decisive moment when you are a better person, when you are a more interesting person, your decisive moment is gonna be more interesting. Yeah. And well, of course, we all know Henri Cartier-Bresson, and there is this master called Ernst Haas, who was kind of a pioneer of color photography. I love his work. Yeah.
And how does that affect you?
Well, I cannot put a direct link between their work and mine. It's just that they must have influenced me, at least subtly.
Yes.
But I have to tell you, what really influenced me are the record covers of the music that I listen to.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I was a teenager, I was listening to bands like of course the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, yes, King Crimson,
Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Genesis,
Yeah.
and of course the 80s new wave bands like A Flock of Seagulls, Duran Duran,
Yeah.
and anyway, they got very cool record covers, not necessarily photography,
Yes.
but maybe illustration.
Yes, yes.
And they just have a very strong imprint
Oh wow.
in me, and these
Yeah.
are really what's influencing me on my photography.
So
Yeah.
even as a musician, the album cover brings back the emotion of the songs. Like you link the picture to the music,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so now, as a musician, you take pictures. Do you want to link? You want to go the other way then? When you see pictures, do you see music in it?
Yeah.
Because the one that you took with the colors,
Yeah.
it looked musical to me.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed
Yeah.
like they're like notes.
Yeah.
And it looks, if you can't read it, it's all just code. As a musician, you look at it and you just see the beauty of the notes.
Yeah.
And you could hear it, even though it's a visual representation of the
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
You could hear it.
Well,
It's playful.
Yeah.
Right? Is that how you
yeah.
hear it?
Yeah, it is just like playing music, and of course you want to have a basics music scale.
Yes.
You want to know your scale. You want to know the basic structure of your song and how you can develop it.
Yeah.
And it is the same thing with photography. You gotta know composition. You gotta know the relationships between colors, and once you have a basic knowledge of the technical stuffs, then you just follow your heart, and your vision will come out on the frame,
Wow.
in the image.
You know what? I thought you would be such a, as again, I see you as playful, but when you talk about photography, you're so intense, and I didn't realize that you had this layer of technique is important, but I'm not going to let it control me.
Yeah.
But it needs to be the foundations there.
Yes.
And then from on top of that, then you could be playful, artistic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, as I always tell my my assistant engineers or assistant producers, you gotta know the technical sides full well, and then make it your tool
Yeah.
to help you express yourself or to help you make the music that you want to make. Yeah, and the real core of it is your heart and your vision.
Yes.
And then the technical stuffs is just a tool there for you to help you
Yeah.
carry it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, I learned so much. You know, you said you heard my talk and you learned so much, but I learned a lot from you too.
Hey,
A
we
lot.
learn from each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So what I've been asking the same question for every one of the photographers is if you can give any advice to someone who's getting into photography, or maybe they're just hitting a slump.
Yeah.
Maybe they shot for many years. What advice would you give?
Okay. I am not qualified to give advices, but I would like to share something that I have learned. To be a better photographer,
Yes.
you have to at least know the basics of the technical sides.
Yes.
But that is just the basic requirements.
Foundation.
Yeah, just the foundation.
Yeah.
And to be a better photographer, you gotta be a better person.
Oh.
Really.
Yeah.
And to be a better person,
Yeah.
you gotta have 4 things in your mind. Always.
Yes.
4 things.
4 things.
Loving kindness,
Yeah.
compassion,
Yeah.
empathetic joy,
Yes.
and equanimity.
Explain equanimity.
Equanimity is, being at ease with all conditions, also in all situations, because once you realize that our being is just a phenomenon. It's just a phenomenon combining all the passing or all the fleeting conditions all happening in this universe. Then you don't really have an ego to be attached to. And when you don't have an ego to be attached to, you can do things freely, you can express freely, and then your vision will come out.
Ho, ho, ho. That is advice for everyone,
Yes.
old or new in photography,
Not
music.
only for photographers,
But for
but
life.
for us,
Yes.
all human beings.
Yes.
Let's just love each other. Let's
Yes.
have compassion for each other.
Yes.
Let's stay cool.
I like it, Paul. This was so much fun, and I hope that in the future,
Yeah.
not only through Monogram Asia, but hopefully you and I can do something together. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.